Today I'd like to speak about the ego. What exactly is that? So many people talk about it and everybody has a different point of view on it. In my experience, what I have found is that the ego is a separate part that is not connected to anything. It is basically a made-up part that has walls around itself, and it doesn't really connect with our higher self or with our soul, and it doesn't have any access to all and everything that is. So it's a little bit like a drop in the ocean. The ego is the little drop in the ocean, and it has this membrane around it that it has put itself there because it does perceive itself as separate. And because of that wall around it, it constantly wants and it needs. It wants to be loved, it wants to be supported, it needs to be safe, it needs to have friends, it needs to have input, output, everything. It needs absolutely everything because it is not connected to the big ocean, because it has put itself in this bubble, in this droplet, and they put the membrane around it, and that wall is separating it from all that is. So the constant need for love, approval, safety, security, supplies, anything, whatever you like, whatever you think you need, that is a sure sign you're coming from your ego. And we are all having this ego because we are living in a very conditioned and fear-filled, fear-based society that has lived very separate from our true source, and it has lived in duality. So we always experienced the love and the fulfillment and infinity of our true self, and the separateness and the longing and needing part of the ego. According to Matt Kahn, who's one of my inspirational teachers, who I really love and know that he speaks from the truth as he's connected to higher realms. He says that the ego is an entity, a form that has been created from an overstimulated nervous system. When we are born into this world of conditions, where we are told what to do and how to be, and that we are not right as we are, and that we need to change, and we can't be like we are, and all of these conditions that are totally not true, they are so bombarding the nervous system all the time. There's no relaxing, as constantly change is needed in us in order to fit in. We can't be as we are because nobody wants us. They tell us off, or they don't like us like that. And therefore the nervous system gets overstimulated. And through is the same like a thought. You know, if you're having the same thought, I'm not wanted, I'm not loved, I'm not wanted, I'm not loved, it will create a form. People call it thought form. It's all like an entity. So it's like a bubble of energy that sits somewhere next to us, around us, in our auric field, and influences us. It is spreading a vibration, a frequency out into our field that affects us. So, in order to conquer the ego, eliminate the ego, without fighting it, we are in need to release the pressure. And we have been doing that anyway, naturally. Every time we are feeling an emotion, every time we are reacting, we are getting really angry, whatever it is, we are actually releasing some of that pressure. And the worst thing we could do is to hold our emotions in and not show them and not allow them to come out, as it doesn't feel safe to us, and maybe it wasn't when we are children, but now as adults it is totally safe, and we need to do so. So the more we work on releasing our ego from all that pressure that society has given us, the more it diminishes. It becomes smaller and less important. And that is the work that could take all our lives. But the good thing is we are now at a time where these processes are quite accelerated. And I am really, really happy and excited about that. Because for me, the suffering that we've all experienced all our lives has been quite a burden. And my life is only just starting because of all that burden I've carried from past lives and again this life. And I feel I've very much come to the end of it now. So it's absolutely the most rewarding thing to release your emotions, to feel them, to meet them, to love them. To love them, love them, love them. That is what the little ego wanted all along. It wanted to be loved as it is. And the more we can tell other people, I love you exactly as you are, the more we are changing ourselves, shifting in ourselves and assisting the others also. Tell the other person around you what you always wanted to hear. They will love you for it. They will love themselves for it. They will feel, most importantly, they feel relaxed. They feel a much greater sense of safety and relaxation. And with that, the body also gets relaxed. The body's tensions will decrease. And the more relaxed we feel, and the less tension there is in the body, the more space there is. All these contracted emotions and feelings that we have stored in our body is taking space away. It's really like having blocks in the way. You can really see it as if like a river flowing by and there is big boulders in the way of the river's flow. It's a bit like that. So our light that is all around us, that we are, and that's all around us, can't really penetrate and can't really flow through our body when there's blocks in the way. So the ego was really just created because of the conditioning in our society. And as it's all changing now, the ego will also naturally diminish. And one day we won't have it anymore. We won't need it anymore. When duality comes to an end and when we are coming back home completely and fully, knowing who we truly are and living from our truth. So the exercise every time in life is to not take it personally, to remember that you are not the ego. Remember who you truly are and just observe the little ego and love it. Love it from your heart. Give it all your love, infinite, deep love, until it feels relaxed and the feeling disappears. I hope that helped you, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.